Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look again at another rank 1 in the world team here right now from a Japanese player where I never been able to say the name, so it's going to be somewhere on the screen most likely right now, so check them out as well. Link in the description to their Twitter. Very strong player, already showcased a team beforehand from them where they got to rank 1 in the world, and they also used a Shadow Snorlax in the lead. So this seems to be their secret weapon for the Open Auto League, trying to win the lead and then realign your Pokemon in the back, with the Shadow Snorlax being very neutral against a lot of Pokemon, and this team worked out super well for me. Can I highly recommend it to you? Can I highly recommend you to try it out, as this team has basically everything that you kind of want from a team. You're going to have something very bulky, you're going to have some sweeper like the Shadow Charizard in the back here lurking around. It is the Shadow variant. You have to kind of have the Shadow variant for the Snorlax as well for this team. That's kind of needed in my opinion as well. But this team itself was a lot of fun. I immediately went onto a 7-game win streak with this team. Can be different in the video because, as said like several times before, the gameplay is always randomized in which order it really comes here. It's just my editing program, don't know what this is doing with that, but yeah, we're going to see here definitely a 7-game win streak in total. I went 8-2 with this team, I think, which is already really nice. You see all the games that I played on today's video, so if you battled me, you're definitely going to see your gameplay here today. We're going to have now against us a Gliscor. Usually not really the best matchup here, but actually, if the opponent going to let this move go through, we're going to be able to realign our Pokemon, which is going to be very important for me, and this is exactly what I'm going to do. So, I will be able to get a ton of energy here, and I will be able to realign, which is going to be amazing, as you're going to see a Shadow Charizard coming in, and do they know? Let's see, they do not know. And like this, we're even going to be able to knock them out beforehand as well. You can go for another Dragon Claw against the opponent's Zapdos here. Yes, they're going to be able to counter my lead, but they cannot counter my Charizard. And like this game is over already. There is literally nothing they can do. And this is going to be a very good game here. So flipping switch there with our Giratina was super important. Having Ancient Power is also, by the way, the moveset that they are running on this Pokemon. Most likely to also counter all the Charizards is very important, but also most likely because it's your usual safe swap, I think, from this team, which will allow you to hit some Ice-type Pokemon also for super effective damage. Here, I was actually a little bit surprised on like how to play against this Pokemon. We're going to have a Regirock against us. Yes, we have super effective damage with our lead, but our back kind of struggles against it, and I tried to catch a Focus Blast, it didn't work out at all, but now we're going to get out the Traveler, and you're going to see me here completely undercharging, because I kind of don't want to give the opponent myself too little farm basically with my Snorlax. I still kind of gave myself a little bit too little farm, but I still gonna get to a Dragon Claw here right now, which will be able to realign the Pokemon, which is in my opinion a little bit more important for me, as now I can get rid of the opponent's Regirock with my Snorlax, as well as I still have my Charizard in the back lagging around there, going to be able to beat whatever they have in the back there. As you can go ahead and go for a superpower very soon here, not right now, but the Stone Edge is coming through here. I can overfarm by quite a bit, go for the superpower now. This would knock them out if they're going to let this move go through, and they do let this move go through, which is amazing for us, because they're going to have a Zapdos again in the back here, 2 Zapdos here already. The Galarian version seems to be fairly common here right now, but it doesn't matter, as we can just spam those Dragon Claws against the opponent. They can let this move go through if they want to, and they do, and that's going to be a good game. Let's take a look at the next game. Game number 4, we're going to have an amazing lead here of the Trevenant, but in comes now the Blastoise. I am gonna go ahead and go into my Giratina here. This is a little bit of an awkward scenario because they have Ice Beam, which is going to do quite a lot of damage. But let's see what we can do here. We're going to encounter the Ice Beam now. I'm going to shield this move up, and we will see that this is going to not do any damage because of that. But you're going to see later on when hitting, because we're not going to be able to knock them out before they get to another Ice Beam here, which is kind of sad, as a Dragon Claw wouldn't have knocked them out from this range. Now I can get some more energy at least. So this might be fairly decent for me, as I can go ahead, go for the Dragon Claw. This is going to knock them out, but now it comes back in, of course, the Trevenant, where I wish I had, of course, the move Shadow Sneak, which would have been super effective here, but the Dragon Claw is still going to be fine, as we can reach for the Ancient Power right now. I don't know if it does more damage than the Dragon Claw in total, but I don't think it really matters anyway. So we're going to see the opponent going for a charge move here right now, and it's going to be the Seed Bomb, and in comes now the Swampert, and this is really bad for me. This is exactly the Pokemon that I don't want to face in the back, as of course we still have our Charizard in the back, and this is going to be a very tough matchup for me. I have to hope that they go for the Hydro Pump here, or like Hydro Cannon here, as I still will be able to survive it with like 1 HP. I can go for one move here, and I hope that they're going to shield this move up, but they do not. If they shielded this move up, I would have been able to go for a Blast Burn most likely. actually going to be close here. I don't think I actually would have reached it anyway. No, I wouldn't have reached it anyway. So, doesn't matter. I don't think that the body slam, like I think the body slam did more damage than a Dragon Claw would have done. So, I don't think it really matters. So, it's all fine. Good game there to the opponent. Nothing that I can really do there against the Swampert in the back after I lost already my answer for water type Pokemon. Great team here. This was actually the first battle that I had. As said before, it's all randomized. I remember this because they actually have the Snorlax in the lead. And they're going to have the Giratina as a safe swap. And you see already, this is kind of similar to a team that you might know already, because I'm playing it myself right now. So they have definitely a very similar idea, which I found so funny. Like, I haven't seen a Shadow Snorlax at all. And in the first game I play Shadow Snorlax, I encounter a mirror lead with it. But let's see how this is gonna go here. Because you're going to have now a very tough scenario, by the way, because you're going to lose your CMP, so we're going to be fairly low. The opponent's Snorlax going to be able to knock me out here. I'm going to undercharge, which turns out to be kind of problematic, because now the opponent was able to swap out and still preserve their Pokemon. But I will be able to go into my own Snorlax, go for the obvious move, first Body Slam, then Superpower. It's an obvious bait, or like an obvious shield here for the opponent, which they're gonna go for as well. And now it's all coming down to what can Charizard do in the end game. I don't think there's anything that I can really do here, especially if they have own Charizard in the back. But I can go ahead and go straight for the Blast Burn here to try to knock them out. And it works out fairly well. So what do they have in the back? It's going to be a normal Skuntank. And there is still a chance, especially as they're going to try to catch the move onto the Giratina, which did not work out. I can go for one Blast Burn, and thankfully we are the Shadow variant, because now as you're going to see, the Shadow variant is going to do enough damage with a Blast Burn here to just destroy the Skuntank, and this is going to be a good game. The final Pokemon was the one that was finishing them all off, which is really nice there. So we're going to have like, the only difference basically between the teams was the Charizard, and Charizard was just way better than the Skuntank there. So, next opponent, Walrein in the lead. This is something where I'd like to stay in, and I have to go for one Body Slam here, kinda. I don't want to debuff myself immediately, but the opponent going to call that one again. As they go for their own Icicle Spear, I will be able to get a ton of energy here right now, but they're going to have the Jellicent in the back. This is not going to be ideal for us. We will be able to swap out into our Giratina. Giratina will be able to use a shield against the opponent's Shadow Ball, and I'm most likely going to use all my shields here, because Shadow Ball going to do so much damage, but we're still going to do some fairly decent damage with our Dragon Claw already here. I can go for another one. This is not knocking them out, so they can just safely go and let this move go through and go for their own Shadow Ball here right now. But I kind of want to keep my Giratina alive. I feel like I can get some shields back later on anyway. So let's see what they're going to have in the back. We will not find out yet, because they're going to go back into their Walrein, where I can go ahead and go for my Ancient Power. Let's see if they know, because actually a Dragon Claw would not be enough to knock them out here, but the Ancient Power is, and now we see the final Pokemon going to be the Charizard, allowing me to go ahead and go for one Charge move here. Body Slam coming through, they're going to let this move go through, and now they're forced to shield up another move. And now they're going to be able to farm me down, but I can go into my own Charizard. We can survive one move, but it's still going to be a close one. You have them already into the red health, but I was kind of like thinking, do I go ahead and go for the Dragon Claw just to get rid of the shield, or do I go for the full farm down? I want to go for the full farm down. It did not work out, and like this we're going to lose the game here, sadly. Or do we? We are going to be able to farm them all the way down in time. Good game there, which is going to be very nice for us, and we're going to move on into the next matchup against Swampert. The normal Swampert will not be able to two-shot us with a Hydro Cannon, at least not from full health. I think in a two-shield scenario you might be going down thanks to the Mudshot damage, which just adds up, but you should be able to win the zero-shield scenario here. But I make a mistake here. Honestly, I shouldn't have done that, because there's no reason for it. I go for the shield here. We're just going to allow the opponent to win this matchup now, because yeah, you win the zero shields, but you don't win any other shield scenario. Maybe you would, nah, you would not win two shield scenario either. So like this, they're going to be able to knock me out nearly here with a move, and I just barely don't get to the Body Slam, which is really unfortunate. And they're even going to store the move here in the back, which is even worse for me. So this is not looking good for me here right now. But again, I could have played it better. I could have just went for the no shield, no matter what move they're going to go for. If they go for Hydro Cannon or Earthquake, would have been fine for me as well. Was just my own mistake. Definitely something to improve on, as they're going to now counter, of course, the Drapion, which is going to let the move go through. Thanks for that. But I will be able to go for another charge move here. And now it's coming down if I'm going to be able to knock them all the way out here with just my Giratina. Let's see if Giratina going to get a sweep from 3 Pokemon. In comes the Charizard. I couldn't even ask for a better Pokemon here, because this is going to allow us to go for one Ancient Power. do a ton of damage. We can take one charge move here, and I'm going to undercharge here because I thought I might be able to just get to the move a little bit earlier. You see me zero bubbling this, and this was super risky, but perfectly worked out as I'm going to be able to get to another charge move very fast now, as I will be able to farm them down here with a Swampert. I can go for one charge move, and the opponent's Drapion is not going to have it. Giratina going for the three Pokemon sweep there, going to get all the kills in this game. Next opponent, let's take a look what they're going to run. We're going to have the Deoxys in the lead. This is a fairly neutral lead for us. We're going to have the super effective lick damage against them, but they have super effective counter against us. So it's a very, back and forth game here, as they're going to now be able to go for the Body Slam. But this is going to do some fairly decent damage, but it's not really going to do too much. I'm going to try to catch a move here, I thought, but nope. They're going to go for the charge move immediately. I'm going to use a shield. Psycho Boost is coming through. They're going to swap out into their own Snorlax, allowing me to go for one superpower here right now. And I make a mistake in this game. I should swap out here already at this point of time, and I do not. I thought I might be able to still get to the to the superpower there, but I don't. And like this, I can go ahead and go into my Charizard and go get some extra energy, and I will be able to catch the Body Slam here right now into my Giratina, which is going to be nice. Which, yeah, this is kind of the weird matchup here, Snorlax vs Giratina. Yes, you're going to completely hardwall my fast move, but you're also going to get completely hardwalled with your charge moves here, so it's actually kind of beneficial matchup for Giratina, usually I feel like, or it's like a very neutral matchup here. So we're going to be able to overfarm by quite a bit, just in case they're going to swap into a different Pokemon, which they might want to do eventually. But here we can now go ahead, go for the Dragon Claw spam. We can actually go back into our Charizard before we even knocked them out. It's kind of wild. We swapped into the Giratina, and we were able to swap out again into my Charizard before they were able to swap out again, which is super wild. But yeah, I can go for one Blast Bunny against the opponents. Deoxys getting 2 kills, and in comes now the Gustlord. And this is going to be a tough one, because Gustlord does a ton of damage with its fast move, Dragon Tail. As you're going to get the shield from the opponent, we are forced to use a shield here as well, as we have to try to get to another Dragon Claw here, which we do, which is really nice. So now we're going to be able to get them super low with that one, but not low enough yet, but I can still reach another Dragon Claw with my Giratina. Dragon Claw spam is coming through here right now, and I'm going to be able to let this move go through. Going to be a Dragon Claw again, and I can go ahead and just farm them down. Good game there. Next opponent, we're going to encounter Snorlax against Swampert. Again, something that I don't really like to face. Swampert is a little bit tough for this team sometimes, but I can go ahead and go for the Body Slam, which is going to do a decent amount of damage. They don't even bait, they just go straight Hydro Cannon here. So in comes now the Skuntank, and I have nothing for this Pokemon. I'm going to bait the opponent to think that they might have an Earthquake or something, so they're going to use a shield here, and I can go ahead and go for one shield as well. In comes Crunch. Debuff number 1. Thanks for that, man. We can go ahead and go for a Blast Sprint here right now. 30% chance to get the debuff. I mean, it's totally fine to get it once. Like, it's going to debuff you eventually. 30% is not 0%, but next Crunch coming through. Debuff number 2. It's just insane. There was actually a different game as well. I don't think it was with this team. It was with a different team that you might see somewhere as well on YouTube eventually, where I had someone else having 3 Crunch debuffs in a row. The chance for this is very low. I think it's like, I don't know, I actually don't know the chance of it. It's like somewhere in like the 0 point something or whatever. It's kind of insane to get it 3 times in a row. It's kind of wild. But yeah, we're going to encounter here now the opponent's Registeel coming through. And we will see as well that, yeah, they're going to see the forfeit there, because they had nothing to do anymore. I can go ahead and go for the superpower and would be able to just weaken them enough to knock them out later on, so that's going to be a good game. As they're going to have now, for the final game, a Weezing in the lead. I just hate playing against Galarian Weezing. I don't know why. I just don't like to play against this Pokemon. It feels like it's such a strong lead right now, even though it has so many common weaknesses. For example, like Swampert is very decent against it. Alone Sandwich is very decent against it. The Deoxys defense has the Psycho Boost for this Pokemon, so there are a lot of Pokemon that really beats this, but not the Pokemon that I usually play, so that's kind of awkward. What is also awkward is the matchup of Jellicent against the Snorlax. It's kind of similar to the Giratina against Snorlax. And it's like the issue with Snorlax moveset here, you cannot really hit Ghost-type Pokemon other than with your fast move, but we're going to be able to go for the knockout here with my Giratina. In comes again the Weezing. We already saw that they're having the move Overheat, so they are mostly not running Play Rough. They're just running Brutal Swing, which is also going to do a ton of damage against us, but we can go ahead and go for at least 2 Ancient Powers against the opponent. We never got a single Ancient Power boost, by the way, you don't even have to hope for that one. But yeah, the opponent can now go ahead, go for another Brutal Swing, going to get us close, but they're going to actually swap into a Swampert. Swampert, which I don't really want to face either, so it's going to be a very tough matchup for us to deal with, as we're going to now encounter, like, see that we're going to be able to go for the Dragon Claw. They are going to have to take some body slams here, but I'm fairly certain that they're just going to be able to go ahead and knock me out here as well. I have to kind of shield this move up as well, hoping that they're going to let the move go through here right now. I will be able to survive one Hydro Cannon actually with my Charizard, even though we're Shadow, because the opponent isn't Shadow. But it doesn't matter, like it literally doesn't matter because I survived with like 5 HP left, so that's not really ideal. We can go for one Dragon Claw, that's not going to knock them out. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Very close one there at the end, but 8-2 running with this team, very strong team. Thanks for letting us know this team here to the player that hit rank 1 in the world with that. And I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a like. Also, check out the videos that are currently on your screen, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.